Star Trek. Section 31 puts even more pressure on Strange New Worlds Season 3. Star Trek. Strange New Worlds has been quietly redefining what it means to balance nostalgia with narrative ambition in the Star Trek universe. Centered on Captain Christopher Pike's Enterprise, the series has consistently walked a fine line between honoring the original series' spirit and exploring complex moral dilemmas in a 23rd century galaxy. But Season 3 appears poised to push the tension further, thanks to the looming presence of Starfleet's most shadowy and controversial agency, Section 31. Section 31 has long occupied a morally gray corner of the Star Trek universe. Introduced in Deep Space Nine, this clandestine organization represents Starfleet's willingness to compromise its stated ideals for the sake of security. Over the years, Section 31 has appeared sporadically, often as an unseen hand manipulating events, or as a source of ethical conflict for the heroes. Its inclusion in Strange New Worlds is more than a nod to hardcore fans. It's a narrative accelerant that immediately raises the stakes for Pike, Spock, number 1, and the rest of the Enterprise crew. Season 3's teaser materials hint at Section 31's involvement in several high-stakes situations. Rumors suggest the agency is monitoring the Enterprise for reasons that remain deliberately murky. This creates an immediate tension that wasn't as pronounced in previous seasons. Unlike the overt conflict with Klingons or interstellar phenomena, Section 31 represents an internal threat, the bureaucracy and espionage within the Federation itself. The crew can't simply fight it with phasers or diplomacy. They must navigate moral ambiguity, political machinations, and the kind of psychological pressure that can fracture alliances before any battle begins. This tension is especially intriguing because Strange New Worlds has, up to this point, relied heavily on episodic storytelling. Each mission has its unique conflict, often resolved within a single episode, allowing for the rich exploration of character. But the looming shadow of Section 31 suggests a shift towards serialized stakes. The Enterprise may no longer simply explore new worlds. It must now contend with hidden agendas, surveillance, and the possibility that Starfleet's own protections could undermine Pike's command. This is a challenge for a series that has prided itself on optimism and idealism. How does a captain maintain the integrity of his crew when the rules themselves are suspect? The inclusion of Section 31 also heightens the dramatic tension around key characters, particularly Spock. Known for his logical mind and strict adherence to duty, Spock's interactions with Section 31 will likely force him to confront conflicts between emotion, ethics, and obedience. For number 1, the situation might be even more complicated. Her loyalty to Pike is well established, but Section 31's influence could test her judgment in ways that resonate throughout the series. Even Pike, the paragon of Starfleet leadership, is not immune to the psychological strain of dealing with an organization that thrives on manipulation and secrecy. For a character defined by transparency, courage, and moral clarity, Section 31 is a nightmare scenario. From a storytelling perspective, the presence of Section 31 gives Strange New Worlds the opportunity to explore some of Star Trek's most enduring questions. How far should a civilization go to protect itself? At what cost do ideals and pragmatism collide? The agency's involvement also allows the writers to explore the gray areas that made Deep Space Nine and Discovery compelling. Unlike external threats, which are often black and white, Section 31 challenges the Federation's foundational ethics. This is particularly resonant in a post-Discovery Star Trek landscape, where fans have come to expect more morally complex narratives. Moreover, Section 31's presence in Season 3 has implications for the visual and tonal storytelling of Strange New Worlds. Expect darker cinematography, tension-filled corridors, and the kind of narrative pacing that signals that danger is not only external. The usual adventure of the weak tone will likely be punctuated by moments of espionage and intrigue, where dialogue, subtext, and ethical decision-making carry as much weight as action sequences. In other words, Season 3 demand more from its audience, asking them to grapple with ambiguity in a series that has historically celebrated clarity, curiosity, and optimism. Ultimately, Section 31's role in Strange New Worlds Season 3 underscores the evolving nature of Star Trek itself. The franchise has always reflected the challenges of its time, from Cold War allegories to contemporary ethical dilemmas. By introducing an internal adversary that embodies secrecy and moral compromise, the series signals that even the most utopian future is not immune to human, or Vulcan, fallibility. Strange New Worlds is no longer just about exploration. It's about the moral navigation of power, duty, and principle. Section 31 doesn't just pressure the Enterprise. It pressures the very ideals of the Federation and the narrative courage of the showrunners. For fans, this is both exciting and